Hey guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day and starting off the new year on a fabulous note. Today is January 1st and I'm so excited that you are joining me. It has been an insane week. I had like 4 appointments this past week, a lot of insurance issues, a lot of home health care issues. I was not able to get all my treatments this week. There was a lot of stress, and a lot really did happen. So I'm not really thinking that I'm gonna like shove everything in one video, to be honest. I think we're gonna kind of like space it out at this point because it is so much ground to cover, and there's a couple other things that I would like to chat with you guys about. So anyways, I guess we're just gonna start with why I didn't end up vlogging on New Year's Eve, and the story starts of course the day before. So I have been having flank pain really bad, and for anybody who doesn't know, that's right in your back and that's where your kidney sits. So that's the pain that I've been having, and also really bad bladder pain. It started mainly on the right side and then we moved to the left and the bladder's been bothering me. So I called the PCP's office because my cardiologist was like, you know what, you have some symptoms and we're not really sure what's going on, so please, if you get worse, call your PCP. So I was like, okay, listening, good patient. Turns out she wasn't in. So I would say about 80% of my doctors were away this week. And then everybody else I felt like who wasn't away I saw like on telehealth. So it's just one of those weeks. And so they ended up getting like the head of the department and like the head doctor and whatever to talk to. Her and the nurse went over my case. The nurse thankfully like did know me. She like at first forgot who I was and she's like, oh, Victoria. As soon as like I mentioned the surgery and the Theo, she's like, I know who you are. I was like, I kind of figured. So I wasn't expecting her to go, well, they're suggesting you to go to urgent care. And I was like, oh, shoot. Because you don't want to have to go. If you're chronically ill, you know that you try to stay out of the ER and the hospital like around holidays because things just get really hectic. And two, you try to just stay out of there. Like, let's be real with the virus, come on. So we talked about like my options. We decided it wasn't really worth trying to go to urgent care because the last couple of times I have tried, I have been turned away for being too complicated, and them not thinking that they could provide the best quality of care, and I do understand that. And they would not have, I don't believe, had the ability to scan me if we needed that. So we decided to just go ahead and head over to the hospital. The numbers in New York State have been going up steadily with the coronavirus. My hospital has clamped down quite a bit on the visitors policies. However, thankfully, my mom was allowed in with me. The, like, I guess head of the hospital or like one of the patient advocates actually had informed the ER that I need my mom to be there or somebody from my family, and they kind of told them why, and then anybody else they were like, as long as you have permission, it's none of my business, like you don't even need to explain, because I like started explaining stuff to people. So it's like, I don't know who you are, I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, but this is what's going on. And like I think I just did it because I was like really nervous. But this ER trip was, oh my gosh, drastically better than any ER trip that I've had recently. I told my parents this might have been like the best that I've ever had. And really it's because everybody was so compassionate and so nice. Like, I didn't see anybody this time in a bad mood. Usually you at least get, 1 or 5 people who are like in a terrible mood and they pick it out on everybody. Yeah, we didn't encounter any of that. So I was really, really, really shocked. Everybody did a really good job of just listening to me, explaining everything, and especially because I do have a lot of memory issues, they're very patient with me, which did help. And the doctor really did listen when we were discussing different medications, what works, what doesn't, and like I was explaining my mast cell, and she listened to all that, so I felt very comfortable. The nurses were great, so this was just a really good experience, and I feel like really blessed. I feel like it's a miracle. I'm so thankful with all my heart. So like I said, I went in with the flank pain. They didn't want to just do this over telehealth because we wanted to make sure there was nothing bigger going on that we were missing, because so much has been going on, like I said, this past week. So basically, I was diagnosed with a triple kidney infection. So, I mean, it's not awful, but it's also not ideal. And you can get extremely tired and weak and a lot of other things from kidney infection, so it's definitely contributing to me not feeling good and not being able to do a lot. So they gave me antibiotics in the hospital through an IV, and then I also got oral antibiotics. Unfortunately though, my blood pressure is swinging like a monkey, like a maniac, like a maniac monkey at this point. We're going from like 70 over 30 to like 195 over 125. That's a lot higher than I thought it was going. So, and two, like, I know when I had my super bad kidney infection, I did get more itchy, so I don't know if that's contributing to my mast cells. I did notice whichever antibiotic, and I would have to look it up, I was given in the hospital, it seemed to have calmed my mast cells for a couple of hours. I wasn't as itchy, and I didn't have a rash, which was the first time I didn't really have a rash in a long time. So, I mean, that was an unexpected side effect that ended up being fantastic. So that's why I ended up not vlogging, and I feel like you guys know, like, if I didn't pick up the camera, I was pretty out of it. And like things did, like, we're moving constantly this time in the ER. If you're in, like, been in the ER, you know, there's usually like time gaps where you're not really doing much. This time though, we were like constantly doing stuff, and I was able to get a bag of saline. I am missing all of my saline, unfortunately, this week, so that is problematic, and it's very stressful. So they had taken me for my kidney ultrasound, and the doctor came back and she was like, "Oh, I see that nobody took your labs yet." And I was like, "Yeah, we didn't get a chance to. They took me for my ultrasound first. I'm really sorry." And she looked at me and she was like, "Why are you sorry?" She goes, "It's a mistake on our part. I should be the one apologizing to you." And I was like, whoa, you know? Like, it was just really, like, reassuring, I guess, and wonderful just to have such a great doctor and to be able to not be blamed for stuff like that. I do think that I have, like, a little bit of the medical type anxiety, you know, that's induced by ER trips and all that, because of being treated poorly in the past. So, like, you know, it takes a while for your brain to go, okay, I'm safe, this is good, let's move forward. So I wanted to share with you guys a book that I had purchased in December from Proverbs 31 Ministries. It's called Reflect and Restored, A Year Remembered, and I was hoping really to share it with you guys like before New Year's, but obviously that didn't work out. It was such a long week. Anyways, I feel like 2020 was such a hard year on everybody, and I feel like the sole purpose of this book is to kind of like process like your year, and I feel like this year everybody kind of needs to process how 2020 went, whether you want to or not, because it was a lot. And like, even if you thought, oh, I'm not being affected, you were affected. Your subconscious has picked up on stuff, and everybody is affected, even a little bit. So unfortunately I didn't bring up my book with my notes to make this a little bit easier. The book just starts with a general like fun look at your year, like different things that you enjoyed, music, movies, all that cool stuff. And then it goes into relationships, which I found this whole book, guys, really, really helpful. And it seemed like a miracle because I was like, I want to be intentional with how I start off the new year. And I've never really like processed my year before. I've been really, as you guys know, weak and tired. So like collecting a bunch of like journaling prompts from Pinterest just wasn't gonna happen, not in like the time frame that I had, and then with so much other like stuff going on. So when I accidentally came upon this book, I was so excited, and it really like just fits perfectly. There's also a section on rejoicing and grief, which again, very helpful. And then each section has a few pages where you can put like notes. And then they have like change, growth, the messy middle. I'm just reading all the titles. Restore. And then I really love, they have a gratitude section, and then somewhere like that talks specifically about your relationship with Christ. And I thought that was really awesome and neat and just really useful. I was like, you know what, I've never been really intentional with tracking my Christian maturity at all. So I do feel like this is a good tool and a great resource. But you can do, guys, something like this really with anything, you know, like you can find journaling prompts on Pinterest or on Google, so you could do something like this but for free. And again, I feel like it's really helpful to just process how 2020 went and like think about goals that you want to have in the new year, but also almost like survival methods at this point, I guess, for lack of a better term. Because yes, 2021 everybody is hoping is going to be better, but like let's also be realistic, people. It's still, with the virus stuff, is up in the air, and it's not as great as we would want. It's not in an ideal place, the virus stuff. So I feel like we're kind of still in limbo. So I feel like having kind of like a plan of action to keep your mental health going in a good direction is a great thing. So they have like a lot of really awesome questions. Bless you. And in the back they have a section where it's just kind of like notes and then like looking forward to like the future and the new year. So that was really fun to do, and I will share my word and verse of the year in a video very soon. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I still have a lot, guys, to get you caught up on. So we're going to work through getting you guys caught up at this point and then get back to regular vlogging. I don't know in the new year, like the vlog schedule. I have not figured out anything at this point. So I mean, if you have a recommendation, like if you would like to see them, like say 2 days a week, 3 days a week, go ahead and like leave me a note, let me know. I love like, and I do consider your input and your opinions. They mean a lot to me. Sometimes, like you guys know, it just, stuff doesn't happen the way you want or plan with chronic illness. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna say goodbye because I'm really out of breath. All right, I'll see you soon.